Right? You can just leave and say, bye, I'm leaving. I have no connections with you, I have no attachments with you, but it's different when it's family. And with the church, it's not easy to leave or detach because it's family, right? How can you detach from your family, right? That's not right for us. That's not be a very nice thing to do, to detach from our families. But, we've been talking about this for the past 3 weeks. For the past 2 weeks, we have been discussing this series entitled Intention. And from the two words, we hope that by now, you already understand what we are trying to convey with this one word that says intent, which stands for intentional, and what's ship? Discipleship. So this is intentional discipleship. Because we value discipleship. And that's why, we have been talking about how we are to grow in terms of discipleship. And there are 3 areas, 3 things that we are to be reminded of when we talk about discipleship. 3 F's, okay? And 3 relationships that we ought to have. Okay, number 1 is relationship. Number 1 is relationship with the Lord. And we also need to have relationship with the lost. And also, we need to have relationship with the church. And we also need to have relationship with the church. Everyone stop that. The church. Okay, by the way, if you are a young professional, and just a side note, we will be having our single stock. Okay, this is not only for just because you are single. If you are a young professional, that's a better nickname for single. If you are a young professional, we would like to invite you to this single stock. You don't have to flash it. Okay, single stock, April 3, 8 p.m. Okay, remember that. We will be talking about April 4. Thank you. Okay, April 4, 8 p.m. here at the center, and we will be having a cup of tea. We're gonna talk about relationships with differences, not just having relationship. Okay, it talks about relationships. Okay, so we talk about those three areas: relationship with the Lord, relationship with the lost, and relationship with the church, with other believers. Okay, and we hope that by the end of this series, we will learn that why is it needed to be intentional in loving God, loving the lost, and loving other believers. You see that word? The L word, okay? The lifestyle, just kidding, okay? The word, love, loving, okay? Loving, in those relationships, we want to learn how to love. How many of you here, you want to learn how to love? Come on! Woo! The singles are not really well. We all want to learn how to love because, later on I'll be talking about that. But as it says there, while making it a lifestyle of discipleship. And for us here, maybe you've been part of this church. How many of you here, can I see the show of hands? How many of you here have been a Christian for a year? A year. A year only. Only like less than a year. Okay? Okay. Come on, John. Okay. Less than 2 years. You've only been baptized in less than 2 years. Okay? Come on, Joy. Okay, number. Less than 3 years. Wow. So it means that most of us have been walking with the Lord for quite some time. Is it? Yeah. Okay, and for us as believers, okay, for us, no matter how many years we have been a Christian, no matter how many ministries you have been involved in, no matter how many disciples you have already reached out to and have already discipled, one fact remains. Okay, and that is we are all work in progress. We are still work in progress. We are not yet perfect. How many perfect people? We are still not perfect. Why do we mean by perfect? You know, when you say perfect, you are talking about a standard. Okay? And when we say we are still a work in progress, Christianity is being in the process of being perfected into the image of Christ. Christ likeness. So would you agree? Would you relate that you admit it to yourself and be kind to yourself and tell yourself, I am still a work in progress. Okay, Jesus is not yet done with me. Jesus is not yet finished with me. And so is He with the person sitting next to me. Look at the person beside you. You don't want to look at the person beside you. Look at them! Okay? You know, that person is still a work in progress. We are all work in progress. And that's the beauty of loving one another. You love people who are work in progress. You are loving you and an imperfect person. You're work in progress. And so, as we talk about, discipleship, that's the truth that we will still be in a process. But in this process, we hope that as we mature, as we grow in years as a Christian, as we involve in a lot of ministries, as we disciple people, there is still this one intention, there's still one desire that we want to achieve. There's this one purpose that we want to accomplish. Okay, and that is, as we are in this process, our intention is one thing. And that is to love. That is to love. The theme of Christianity is to love. For God so loved the world. And the command of Jesus before He leaves here on earth is to love one another. So how important it is to love one another. And so the process, if you get the two combinations of what I'm trying to make a point, is that discipleship is a process, and as we continuously do so in that process, what will fuel that process is love. Because we want to love. We want to